Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and welcome once again. This is Dr. King, and this is Dr. King's talk show. It's so exciting that we live in a time where we are seeing so many people rising up, bringing transformation, contributing to the discussion in our communities across America. The whole essence of this talk show, I start with what John F. Kennedy stood before the American Congress in 1960 and he told them, don't ask what your country can do for you, but rather ask what you can do for your country. And so I've been so intrigued in my travelings and moving around and seeing so many people who are doing so many beautiful things, people of color like me, white, black. And so as America journeyed towards our 250 independence, it's so exciting that we took it upon ourselves that we're going to run a 250 days countdown. And every day we're going to bring into the studio and we're going to interview a CEO, a young person or older person who's doing something fantastic in contributing to transformation, development, and nation building. And today is not an exception. I have in the studio Dr. Stephen Oduwale. And one exciting thing about him is that he actually studied both civil engineering and pharmaceutical sciences. And today he has been able to switch from both. I don't know why. So I have him in the studio. Dr. Stephen, good to have you tonight.
Pleasure. It's a huge opportunity. Dr. King, I think you are doing the Lord's work. There's so much of value that is sitting or running around or walking around the place. And just you taking this on to be able to have people where they can share their experiences.
Mm.
The countdown that you have is huge. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing. And I pray that, you shall continue to blossom and shine with this.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. And I'm telling you, I'm so excited because someone who have done too. How did you cope? How are you able to move?
So,
You must have some kind of unique kind of brain to have been able to do pharmacy,
no,
civil engineering. What
no.
really led to all those kind of stuff? Your journey.
So, quick background: civil engineering was when I was in Nigeria. I relocated to the U.S. In 2010.
Mm,
The way it happened, I was in Federal University of Technology, Akure.
mm,
I worked on my civil engineering degree, and then the opportunity came to come here. Now, just like every Nigerian that comes to America, they begin to ask like, "What can I do? What should I
okay.
do? What is the thing that can get me the value
Yeah.
that I need?" And with that civil engineering background, I was like, okay, let me just go do a master's because I already have that background. Let me
Okay.
go do a master's. Um, but then I asked the uncle, and that uncle of mine, typical Nigerian way is, he sat me down and said, when you do a master's in civil engineering, and then when you graduate, what's the delta between when you graduate and when you're able to start bringing in value, right? And when I mean
Mm,
value, monetary
mm,
value in this instance. And then he said, well, if you go this route, you're guaranteed to always have a job.
uh-huh,
You're guaranteed to always be in demand,
uh-huh.
but you're also guaranteed to have a high value of impact that you can provide. And at
Okay.
that point, I'd lost my grandmom to breast cancer.
Oh,
So
sorry about that.
it was sort of a deciding moment that, you know what, why don't I do something that can be impactful where I can impact the folks in Nigeria? So that's how pharmacy came.
Oh,
I loved chemistry, so it just became sort of a no-brainer that because it was pharmaceutical science, I could go into chemistry. I love biology too. I thought biology was cool, but I don't think that really answered the fundamental person that I was in between in civil engineering and in pharmacy because
mm.
I'd always been a business guy.
Okay.
While in Federal
Okay.
University
You've
of Technology,
always been a business person.
I've always been a business person. So in Nigeria, I sold phones. I would buy
Oh,
phones from Lagos. There's a place
oh,
in Lagos that's called Computer Village.
okay.
I'll buy
Oh,
phones
so
from
you know
Computer Village.
Computer Village, right?
Yeah, I used to buy phones
Okay.
there. I used to buy phones there. So I'll buy phones from Computer Village and I'll go sell it in Akure, which is where my undergrad was,
Okay.
right? And
Amazing.
I understood the importance of like buy low, sell high, right? Wholesale minus retail equals to profit.
Wow.
So I did that, and by the time I came to the US, even though I was in the pharmacy field, I still had the ambition and passion. And as God will have it, I got connected to the right people who
Mm,
were able to coach, guide me, mentor
mm,
me into
mm.
developing
Mm.
that business side of it. So yeah, that's the background. It's
Because
not like I do both of them at the same time or
because
some
I was
magic.
just wondering that how have you been able to juggle all of those parts together? And I mean, this is amazing. So I used to say to people that what you are gifted for is superior to what you are trained for.
Absolutely.
Because from what you just said right now, you can be able to see that your talent, your ability, your gift, your skill, your passion can
Yeah.
actually cause a major trigger in the way you respond to life. And I'm so,
Yeah.
so excited. And so many people came into this place and they abandoned those things that would have taken them to the top, that would have made
Gladly.
them become a topic. And I'm so excited that you didn't, because I was actually asking myself that I'm going to ask you that how did you come about this? I mean, so I know that as entrepreneur, would you have said that there are times in your life that you would have said that challenges that either make you want to stop or it was a trigger to move you forward? How do we just
The way I look at it, and obviously I had to get molded through challenges.
yeah.
There's something that my mentor taught me very early on, and
Mm,
approached my that had tweaked my approach to challenges. And
mm-hmm.
he said, adversity is the mother of all innovation,
True.
which means it is when you're in tough situations that the best invention or the best ideas come out.
Comfort. Yeah.
And if you experience if you study a true entrepreneur or someone who has gone on to accomplish great things, it's usually around that time when they realize that, man, I have to figure out situations. So a perfect example with Gonak Auto Rentals, we had a time where we had to figure out how to not only insure our customers, but make sure that we were intentional about how we protected ourselves from accidents, right?
Mm,
And it's called risk mitigation. So, how can we make sure that when we rent a car, we're not exposing ourselves or making ourselves candidates of disasters,
yeah.
because disaster will.
It was
And
something. Yeah.
out of that, I just started like going from door to door asking insurance agents, and
Oh,
what I learned from that was super important, because every person in the auto rental industry has sleepless nights over insurance. So
yeah.
we were able to figure out a way where instead of insuring that specific car,
Mm-hmm.
we started insuring the individual as well. So if a,
Oh,
if a customer rents a car from us, for example, and
uh-huh.
gets into an accident,
Mhm,
that customer itself on their own is insured.
mhm.
So even our car is protected, but that liability falls under that customer's insurance, right?
Mm.
So it happened because one of my customers got into a car accident
Wow.
and I was frustrated. It was a challenge. I think it
Wow.
was winter January of 2024.
Oh,
And it was a blizzard. And at that time we had about like 12, 13 cars out. And three of the cars had accidents on that blizzard weekend.
wow.
And
Wow.
the entrepreneur will be like, oh my God,
But
what is
but
going on?
it's not total. It's not
Uh,
total, right?
so two was total. Two was
What?
total.
Mm,
Two was total.
mm,
And that's when we started figuring out, right? Okay, well, even though it was an accident, we're still bearing some sort of the cost. How do we do it where we don't bear any cost? Where
mm.
the individual renter bears the cost, and that was how we figured it out. And you begin to realize that it's actually good to have challenges,
Oh, sure.
because if you don't, then you basically build a house of cards where if
Mm,
something happens,
mm.
it all comes crashing down, and you don't have the width and the stamina to be able to build it back up. I say this and I don't say this with pride or anything. Put me in any scenario and I'll figure myself out.
I think without mincing word, and I don't really want to sound like maybe because we came from the same kind of background or stuff like that. I think that's more of like an African spirit, right? Because a lot of people come into this community and they just cave in once there are challenges and there are
You
obstacles.
gotta fight.
In fact, I tell people that the word fail is first attempt in learning. First attempt.
And
That
you want to
you
know
always
something?
fail.
There's something unique that I realized.
Huh?
And again, I'm a businessman. I will always, one of my value scale will always be monitoring. The people that earn the most, the CEOs, the entrepreneurs that earn and make the most, they're able to solve problems
Yeah.
and handle problems with a high intensity or with a high pressure. And that pressure intensity is what allows them to get compensated for the
Yeah.
amount they make.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to make a lot of money,
Yeah.
you got to be okay with handling pressure.
Oh,
You got to
sure.
get comfortable with it,
Oh, sure.
and you have to learn how to shine in it.
Oh, sure.
It was a no brainer.
Yeah. Yeah. And, another thing, just like you said, is because the more the risk, the higher the risk,
Yes, the higher the reward.
the higher the reward. And so when people run away from the challenges, they also run away from the opportunities. And so when you see guys who put their head headlong, is because they see something different
There's
than what
something
other
we're
people.
looking for. There's something we see.
They see something different that other people could not see. It's just like what we're doing right now. I keep saying to people, don't expect one big studio, one big TV to come start looking for you and start asking to hear your story and all of that. We need to create our own platform where we need to begin to talk about our stories, about our journey, and it's not just going to stop with the 250, it's going to continue because we need to model for the next generation. We need to show
Yeah,
them the pathway. They need to learn because if they don't learn, they can't earn. And if they don't earn, they can't rest. And if they don't
right,
rest, they may not be able to enjoy financial rest. And
right.
so you have been recognized as one of the under 40 under 40 leaders in the minority health. And that's a big congratulation. So that means you have a very strong outlook on leadership, innovation, and all of that. So tell me
Yep.
about it.
Yes. So, on my day career, I'm a
Mhm,
pharmacist. And because of that,
mm,
when you're put in such a career,
mhm,
basically any career in health, actually, even a physician or a nurse, there's a responsibility that's put on you
mm,
that you have to take on because you're an ambassador of care. Whether
mm.
you're a dentist, whether
Oh,
you're a
mm,
physician or you're a pharmacist, like,
mm,
and the field that you are defines the type of care that you deliver, right? If you're a
mhm,
pharmacist, focused on medication and medication wellness.
mm,
If you're a physician, you're focused on whole body or internal medicine or whatever
mhm,
whatever trade you.
mhm,
But with me, because I'm that ambassador, I'm that person who is subject matter expert in medications.
mhm.
It is my responsibility to be able to provide value to my community because they come to me for that solution.
Wow.
And with the company that I work for, they were they needed someone who had the experience that I had, which was community focused, who had developed strong relationships in the community
Mhm,
to be able to connect with people who needed the services that they could provide.
mhm,
And because of that, and again, I'd always positioned myself and I'd always made sure that the value I provided
mhm,
was in demand. So
mhm.
they needed someone who could build relationships or build connections across faith-based
Mm,
organizations, long-term care facilities, and I did that. So I led some of the initiatives that a company that I work for needed on the south side of Chicago, and as a result, we were able to provide I think about 15,000 vaccines and about
wow.
10,000 COVID-19 vaccines and then about 10,000 COVID-19 tests
Wow.
on the south side of Chicago.
Wow.
And National Minority Quality Forum caught wind of it, and they offered me that opportunity to get
Oh,
recognized, and that's how
amazing.
I was the 40 under 40
Amazing.
leader in minority healthcare.
Go ahead.
One thing I did want to add though is when you're intentional
Mhm,
about pouring value into people,
mm.
opportunities will always seek you out, and you have
That's
to be genuine about it,
that's
right?
true. That's true.
And it's the same thing with Gonak Auto Rentals, or it's the same thing with Gonak
We
Properties.
are gonna come we are
And it was
gonna
a
come
business
to
I
that.
started.
We are gonna come to that. We are gonna
Let me not let the cat out of the bag.
we are gonna come to that because I really want people to know that responsibility is the price of greatness, that it doesn't
Yes,
just come overnight. I mean, if you are not a responsible person, then you'll be a liability
absolutely.
people, a liability to your community, and most especially in this climb where people look down on people's color of their skin, the only thing that can make you stand out is exceptional values. And so
Yes.
And when you are out there giving that exceptional values, it makes people really look up to you and said, I think this is someone we can look up to for leadership, for direction, and this is something amazing. So, okay, but since you're already going towards that direction, let's talk about Bonac. And now, you see, one thing I love about when I read your story, you said something about things that looks like Uber, Lyft, and all of that. You are able to create something very different and all of that. Tell us about it. How did you come about the vision? Is it like there was so much space that nobody was occupying it, or you just see the need to bring in something different to into the niche?
So while in pharmacy school, I drove Uber. I needed to pay bills.
Sure.
I had responsibilities,
Yeah.
right? I drove Uber. And I realized that I was lucky to have been able to buy a car. So
Mhm.
before Uber, actually, I drove taxi, and
Okay.
that's how I saved enough money to buy a car. And I bought a car, and then I switched to Uber.
Okay.
But then I realized that, you know what? At that point, there were people who were like renting cars to do Uber. So I didn't really pay much attention to it.
Mm.
Now, it wasn't when I was driving Uber, it wasn't as processed where car rental companies would do it.
Mhm.
They would do things that we call in Nigeria hire purchase, where someone will buy the car and then will list it out to someone to rent.
Oh, okay.
When I graduated, I had the car that I used. It was a beat up 2007 Toyota Camry.
Mhm.
It was sitting in my driveway,
Mhm.
and I had a different car I was using at that point. So a good friend of mine who had come to the US but needed a car to rent
Mhm.
or needed a car to do Uber,
Mhm.
asked if he could use my car in the driveway. And just innocently, I was like, yeah, yeah, use it.
Oh.
And it was like, man, that's so kind of you for doing that. I'm going to pay you 125 a week.
Oh, really?
And he just said it. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. So he was paying me $600.
A month?
Sorry, he was paying $500 a month.
Oh, wow. And he was still making
And
so much, right?
yes, Dr. King, one thing you realize as an entrepreneur is every money that's able to come in without you lifting a finger
Yeah.
or actively doing a
Mhm.
work towards that,
Yeah.
something that should be thoroughly studied so you can scale it up.
Wow. I love that.
I looked at it and I was like, wait, so if I have 10 of this, that's $5,000. And at that
Oh.
point, I was like, okay, I'm a guy that I'm hungry. I've done this in Nigeria, but low, sell high. What instead
Yeah.
of buy low and selling, buy low, rent, and do that. So I connected with a friend that had an auction license, and we
Mm.
started targeting Toyotas. And
Amazing.
we will go to the auction and we'll just buy Toyotas, Toyota Corollas, Toyota Camrys, Toyota Yaris. And we first year we were about 5 cars, and then at the height of it, we got to 20 cars. Right now
Wow.
we're down to about 15 cars, but at the height of it, we're about 20 cars.
Wow.
And we started just having a niche, which was a ride share. So people who did Uber, Lyft,
Mhm.
who drove for deliveries,
Mhm.
Grubhub, DoorDash, all of that. And then a lot of our customers were immigrants. And that's where it's very important because a lot of people will just run with this and will focus on money.
Mhm.
But the way that we're able to brand ourselves and we're able to sort of stay in business is because we took the eyes off us and we put it on the customer. So
Mm.
I don't like to see myself, I don't like to call myself or call my business a car rental. No,
Mhm.
we are a workforce, or for lack of better words, we are a solution to someone who's trying to put food on their table.
Okay. I love that.
Because
So many people want to put food on their table and looking
so
for
you
a
come to
way.
me, I give you the means
Oh,
to put
wow.
food on your table.
Wow. Amazing. Let me ask you,
And that's how we've been able to
can
scale up.
this be duplicated other parts of the country, or is it peculiar to Chicago?
No, right now we're in Chicago because we're sort of at a point where the work that you put in from 5 to 10 cars is different from the work that you put in from 10 to 20 cars.
Okay.
But it's different from the work that you put in from 20 to 50 cars.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're in that 20 to 50 car range where we have to be intentional and we
Mhm.
have to like structure. And
Mhm.
that's what we're doing right now. So the goal next is to find another city that has the right type of people. Because
Okay.
you can't do this in a city that doesn't have the type of people that will cater to you as customers. Because remember, we're not necessarily selling this to anybody out there. We're
Mm.
selling this to immigrants who, just like me, were in that transition phase of a year to 5 years where they're trying to get their stuff
So
together.
settle down. Yeah,
And they need quick money because they have bills to pay or they have
yeah,
responsibilities
yeah,
back home
yeah.
and they have a driver's license,
Mm.
but they don't have enough money to get a car.
No.
They can come to us, rent a car from us, do Uber, and then put food on your table or take care of their needs. But remember,
Okay.
I said that at some point in a blizzard, I had 3 accidents, right? So there are downsides to the business, just like every other business,
I
right?
get.
But that's where it's a business of risk mitigation, where if you plan for your risk,
Mhm.
it doesn't become an incident or it doesn't become a problem when it happens because you plan for it.
But truly said, once a problem has occurred once, so there's a pattern to study.
Yes.
So you can, it helps not to repeat itself, if I get it right. I mean,
Absolutely.
so I
Absolutely.
mean, if there's gonna be any other one, it's gonna be a different ball game because you already think it through that we won't want this kind of thing to happen
Yes.
again. Do you do trainings for them, or do you do some kind of?
I haven't started. A lot of people have been like, you should go you should go do a course. You should go like, do like a master class. And I don't I don't knock people down who do that.
Mhm.
But I think I've been blessed by God where if anyone asks me how did you do it, I'm willing to just share and just put them. I'm not for lack of better words, gatekeeper. If someone calls me and is like, "Hey, Steven, how did you do this?" Like, "Hey, this is what I did. This is X, Y, Z." Now, I'm not worried about competition because I'm my own competition. I don't care about what other people
I
are.
love that. I
If
love
you
that.
can run as fast as I am, because I'm a hard worker,
Wow.
so I'm not scared of working hard. If you can run as fast as I am, then you deserve to win because I am running fast. If
I
you can
love
catch up with me,
I
then
lo-
you deserve to win and go and win.
love that concept because they said in Africa, when a gazelle wakes up in the morning, it's either the gazelle is pursuing something or
Something is
somebody
pursuing
is
it.
pursuing it. And so I love your concept. If you can run as fast as me,
Then
then
you deserve to win.
you deserve to win. You deserve to be rewarded. You deserve to have all the accolade. I mean, that means, and I can tell you, that's just the spirit because with over 350 million people in America, with 50 states, with so many states having peculiarity of immigrants and all of that. I mean, it shows that it can be duplicated in
It can,
different places
and it
around.
should.
And I think
It
one
should.
other thing that you can even do, that's not for this place, leveraging on your strength, and you can just use your strength to leverage and help other people to kickstart it while, yes, like as you said, a business person, a 10% or 20% or whatever, bringing your brain into it and all of that and paperwork. Anyway, that's let's keep.
Yeah. Actually, if people go on my Instagram page, I was on a podcast with a friend where I actually went into some like really nitty gritty details. So if they can find me on Instagram, there's a lot of free game out there that they can learn from it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I will ask about that maybe after this session is
Yes.
over. Okay. So for you now, how do you maintain work-life balance? Is there anything like work-life balance for you? Do you do daddy stuff at home? Do you get involved in family affair or is just work, work, work? Because I want to know 24 hours, is it enough for you? You are a pharmacist in the day,
Well,
you're a businessman in the night, and there's family, and we have to lay there so that people who wants to enter into the journey can really understand. Maybe it's just cheap stuff and all of that. So let me know.
so you're so funny, Dr. King. Um, as you know this, Dr. King, every person who has had to balance their book
Yeah.
or has had to maintain a P&L
Uh-huh.
knows that business ownership is not for the weak.
Oh, sure,
Not for the weak.
sure. 100%.
You have bills to pay, you have employees to pay,
Yeah,
you have responsibilities.
yeah,
And while doing that, you also have to have a growth plan
yeah,
because you don't want to stay at the same place.
yeah,
And then while doing that, you also want to make sure that you have a savings for rainy day,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So business ownership is not for the weak. But as we had started talking even before we started recording, I have a strong support system,
I love
and
that.
I give glory to God for that. because I'm of the school of thought
Mhm.
that there's nothing like having a balanced life,
Yeah.
right? And again, that's my school of thought. Because
Mm,
people ask, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you maintain? Like, you know what? I prioritize
mm,
what is in front of me and
mm,
what needs to be prioritized.
I love that. I love that.
So if my kids
Mm,
are in front of me,
mm.
that's my priority at that moment.
Wow. I love that.
And if anyone cannot understand that, I
Mm,
will respectfully apologize to them. And if they can reschedule, that's fine. If not, but that's my priority at that point.
I love that. I love
And
that.
when I finish with that, when I get into that task or I get
Mhm,
in front of them,
mhm.
they are my priority at that point.
Yeah.
So if something is going on, that has to wait because then I've switched my priorities to that person.
Mm,
And then when I get or when I'm in front of my patients or I'm taking care of work,
mhm,
my 9 to 5,
mhm.
between 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 is my priority.
Yeah.
And the way I've been able to do it is I've set systems in place where when I'm at work and working on my 9 to 5, I have team members and employees that are running my business for me
Yeah.
who have given autonomy to be able to make decisions at
Oh,
that point.
smart, smart, smart.
So it's been a process now. I'll be very honest with you, Dr. King. I don't want your listeners or your audience to think this all happened in one night.
Okay, so tell us
There was
how
a
long
lot
did
of failures, a lot of trial and errors,
Wow.
a lot of nights where me and my wife had to have crucial
Oh,
conversations, a
wow.
lot of times when I had to have my wife go to a kids game or do something and I not be there and I take on the guilt that what am I doing? I'm missing my child's game. That's just life. When you're a high performer,
Mm,
like I am, who likes to just make sure that I devote my time and I get things done,
mhm,
and who feels like there's a higher calling on my life,
mhm.
then that's just the life that you're called for, and it's just what it is. I'm recording with you. Once I finish, I'm gonna go spend time with my wife and cuddle and do everything with her
I
because at
get
that
you.
point, he's my priority,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's I don't know if I don't know if again this is my school of thought.
I can also tell you your school of thought is just the accurate one because the whole truth about life is that today's pain is tomorrow's gain.
Yeah,
So whether we like it or not, at some point it's going to tilt this way. Then we try to balance the book. I mean, it's not, I
yeah,
mean, you have to juggle, 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 juggle. Because
and
the
that's
truth
life.
about it is that if whatever is worth doing well and you don't do it, then it's not going to come out well the way you want it to come out. So you are doing the right thing and you have to just keep it up. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
man,
If you have the
thank
opportunity to change, looking at America today, because you must have been here for some time, looking at America today, if you have the opportunity to bring about change, what do you really think your own focus will be, especially as we journey towards the 250 and a number of things. Today's America is not yesterday's America. So, looking at it holistically, what do you really think would have been your own kind of approach to bringing transformation?
So it's a couple of things,
Okay,
and I'll share some of them.
okay.
The first and most important thing is highlighting the importance of discipline.
Say that again.
Highlighting the importance of discipline.
So, before you go to that, why then is it like America? Was it that it was a time discipline was very high because it looks is very low now, and you are
I mean, we're
emphasizing
like
discipline.
I'm a
So many school says you don't touch the kids, you don't do this, you don't do that, and all of that. So,
discipline can be looked at in different ways, right? So there's
okay.
moral discipline, right, which is what you're alluding to, but just individual discipline, like personal discipline, right?
Mhm,
So if you look at around the world war,
mhm,
which in my opinion, from after World War 1945 to like 1970 was like the cusp of the American economy where a lot of things blossomed, right? You have the industrial age and then you have, oil and Standard Oil and
mhm,
the
mhm,
Carnegies and all those
mhm,
great people. But then we had just come out of war and people were like just hungry and disciplined and they didn't have time for distractions
mhm,
or staying on like Instagram or social media and just
mhm,
getting soaked up and you had people who just were just greats, just wanted to like just work hard. And they had discipline,
mhm.
individual discipline,
Yeah.
right? And again, this is me. This is just me. There's too much at stake for me to get caught up in things that don't add value to my time.
Mm,
There's just too much at stake. There's a higher calling in my life where I have to be very, very intentional.
mm.
Again, I'm not perfect, and I don't want you to think I'm perfect. I've made
Oh,
mistakes.
mhm,
Now I'm a sinner, right?
sure. Mhm.
But there's too much at stake for people in the US right now to not realize how that their dream is in their hands and it's their responsibility.
That's true. That's true. We need to share
Because
that.
to your point, once you start thinking that your dream or that your future is in one president's hand
Mm,
or is in your mayor's hand
mm,
or is in Congress's hand,
mm.
and don't get me wrong, there are things that I mean, unfortunately, people who and whenever your listeners listen to this around this time, we're facing a government shutdown.
Yeah.
So people who rely on their income from the government, unfortunately, there's nothing you cannot do. Yeah, well, actually, when I take that back, you could go drive Uber. You go be creative. If you don't have a car, then you could come rent a car from Gonak Auto Rentals, and then
I
you could
love
drive
that.
Uber.
I love that.
And no worries, we have a program where you don't have to pay us immediately. Make your money, and then you pay us.
Oh wow. That's
That's just a shameless plug.
that's good.
But
That's good enough.
your point, we have to realize as a nation,
Mm,
and we have to come to realization as a nation that your dream is in your hands. Our founding fathers didn't wait for someone to come draft our constitution. They didn't wait for someone to create the foundation of what
mhm,
America is right.
mhm.
They took the unction
Yeah.
to do it. They
Yeah.
took the responsibility to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So if you don't take the responsibility of your life, take the
Mhm,
steering wheel of your life and
mhm,
drive it the way you want to
mhm,
drive. If you don't do that, if you don't get disciplined about that,
mm.
then unfortunately you can't complain about the result that you face when you're 50, 60 and things are not going your way.
So
And
so
that's the most
in
important thing that I'll
essence,
call out.
it's like somebody taking poison and expecting another person to die.
You know what I call it? You're taking Tylenol for another person's headache.
Okay. So
Exactly what it is.
discipline, and I mean, when you hear it's truly, even the Bible says that you see a man that is diligent in his business. The army says their rule is that discipline is the soul of the army. If you are not disciplined, you can't really go far in life. And so I take that as the number one crucial thing, because discipline will help you to be focused. Discipline will help you to be determined. Discipline will help you to keep going, doing the grinding, even when it looks very tough. When Robert Schuller said, tough time does not last, but
Yeah,
tough
for
people
tough people,
do. But
absolutely.
tough people cannot really, really last except they are disciplined. Because what really makes you to be mentally tough is that inner discipline, the resolution that come rain, come sunshine, you're just going to
You'll
keep
figure it out.
going.
Yeah.
I love that. Are there other points you want to put in it on?
Yes, yes, yes. I have a four guiding principles
Okay.
that I teach on when I have conversations with people.
Mm,
The first and most important thing is respect, right?
okay.
So treat people with respect. Be humble, stay grounded, or realize that you want to treat people the way you always want to be treated. That's
Mm,
guiding principle one.
mm,
Second guiding principle is innovate.
mm,
You want to learn how to always think outside of the box. You want to be able to look at something and ideate and think about ways where you can add value to that thing, where you can increase a potential, the cost potential of it.
mm,
You can sell it at a higher price,
mm. Yeah.
right?
Mm,
And by doing that, you start to realize that you can innovate your way to a solution.
that's true.
It's possible,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
The third guiding principle that I have is collaborate,
Mm,
which is network and build a circle of like-minded people that can help you win.
I love that.
If you want to go fast, you run
Go
alone.
ahead alone.
If you want to go far,
Go
go
with
in a
a
group.
team. Yeah, that's true.
It is very, 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 very important. You got to
Mm.
collaborate. And the last but most important thing, you got to execute.
We
You
talk on
have to
execution.
master how to get things done effectively,
Hmm.
efficiently,
Yeah.
and in a timely manner.
Wow. Wow. Key.
And when you do that, you can charge or you will be compensated top value for that.
I think without mincing word, I have to give you some kind of kudos for those very powerful, very, very powerful four-way test of getting things done. I mean, and I'm going to highlight that when I'm doing the editing for this, because I can tell you, if you are strong on respect, which you said, stay humble, treat people the way you want to be treated. And you mentioned the second one. What was the second one again? Innovation. I'm telling you, creativity and innovation.
Yes.
When people open their mind to see possibilities or take something that someone has done and improve on it and take it to the next level, I mean, and I think that's one of the things I've seen about the American dream. The
Yes.
opportunity is just there for everybody, everybody. I think one of the biggest thing, you mentioned the third one, collaboration, and the
Yes.
last one, be very
Execute.
tough on execution. I love
Yeah.
that. I think I'm going to stick that in my mind. So I think one of the things that I love about listening to people like you is the ability to balance, because today's world we see a lot of young people who are only just going to college and just graduating and looking for job and all of that. And not they are not balancing this aspect of learning entrepreneurship. How do we introduce entrepreneurship at a very early age to young people, whether they are in the lower level or the middle school or the college? Because if there's anything that America need, look at the issue of the H-1B visa that was withdrawn
Yeah.
from China, from India, and all of that. And the owner of the companies are saying, listen, we know the kind of materials we are looking for. We don't have them. I don't know whether that is
It's true.
true or that is not true, but if we're going to pull people from far, that means they have been able to be built in some kind of way. How do we bring this entrepreneurial spirit into our communities, our cities, our faith life, such that our people also can, I mean, so that if we don't plant a tree 25 years ago, we can plant it now and wait for another 25 years. So how do we catch up with the spirit of creativity and innovation?
I think the most important thing is to amplify platforms like this.
Oh,
And
okay.
big shout out to you, Dr. King.
Oh, thank you.
I have a lot of respect for you. I think
Thank
what
you.
you're doing is phenomenal.
Thank you. Wow.
But amplify platform, because how does are you familiar with the book Rich Dad and Poor Dad?
I'm a big fan of
Like,
Kiyosaki,
wonderful,
the
wonderful book.
quadrant, all of those. Why
Formula,
we
yeah.
want to reach, the one to grow. I mean,
So if you take that book and you actually do an expose on it, what you realize is that's actually America right now.
okay,
The
I love
folks
that.
who have the poor dad have to figure out a way to connect to their rich dad.
Mm,
And their rich dad is not necessarily the avatar that
hmm
Robert Kiyosaki had.
hmm
A rich dad could be you, Dr. King.
It's just the
A rich
mindset.
dad could be me.
Yeah, the people with the right
So
mindset.
people like me and you have to figure out how to put ourselves in positions where we can help people
Mm,
that fall into that category of children with poor dads. And again, I
mm,
don't say poor dads as a
yeah,
denigratory statement. I just say that as people who are looking to get connected to that person who could take them to the next level.
for sure.
So when you think about mentorship,
Hmm.
right? I have a mentor. There's no reason why people trying to get to a place shouldn't have identified someone who's at that destination that they want to be
I
like,
can pull them up. Yeah.
who can pull them. So I was just speaking at the my school as an alumni, and I highlighted that I told people like go add me on LinkedIn
Mm,
and send me a message on LinkedIn.
hmm
And once that message comes, it's going to tell me like what college of pharmacy you went to. And when I see that you went to my college of pharmacy, I'll give you preference.
Yeah.
I'll connect you to anybody connectable because I have a connection with you.
Hmm.
But how do I develop that connection with you if I can't find you? If you can't reach out to me, if you can't say,
Mm,
"Hey, Dr.
mm,
Father or Stephen, mentor me," or Dr. King,
mhm,
help me. I want to have a platform like yours. I want to have an
mm,
audience like this.
mm,
How do I do it?
mm,
So, to your point, to answer your question, the most important thing is a twofold approach.
yeah,
Approach number one is people like me and you have
mhm,
to figure out a way where we expose ourselves or we amplify ourselves to people who need help. And
Mm-hmm.
number two, we have to create an environment for people who need help to feel comfortable to come
To
to
talk.
us. And if we can do that, then what you realize is that people will start identifying us and seeking us out.
I
And it's
love that.
easy because let me tell you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Successful entrepreneurs like us,
Mm-hmm.
we're not, you just need to sit us down. You just need to sit us down and obviously don't come proud and don't come boasting. But we
Mm-hmm.
will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I like talking with people and I like talking about
Mm.
like my stripes,
Yeah.
like my battle stripes. Like, yo, man,
Yeah.
I remember when I had to like go repo a car from someone who, wasn't paying me. And my repo truck couldn't go, nobody wanted to go, and this person couldn't. And I had to like call the police and have a police escort me to go repo my car. And they'd be like, wow, you see, you go repo. Yeah. But I had to do that.
Up to
And
date.
when you and someone shared this, and I realized like successful people like to talk.
Oh, sure, because
And it's not like
it's
they like to brag or anything,
no,
but they like to talk.
that,
They like to
but that's
share.
their life. Yeah, that's their
Exactly. That's how
life.
they got to where they are. So if you come to me and you come to me at the right time and we're having a coffee, I will tell you all the trade secrets that you need to know. I won't hide it.
Amazing. Amazing. I love what you just said now, because that is actually the reason why we set up this, because I look like in some few months from now, America is going to be crossing the 250 mark, and we're going to be celebrating huge, quarter of a thousand year. You understand? Saying now, I said it 1776. Our father or mother, the generation of the black, they came and all of that, blah, 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 all of that. I don't want to be part of the past. I don't want to
Yes.
get stuck in the past. And I don't just want to sit down with the present. I want to look into the future and say, this is the legacy we have been able to put on the table for some young people to stir
Absolutely.
them up to see possibilities, because truly it has taken us 10, 20, 30 years to get to this level of
Correct.
boldness, this level of tenacity,
Correct.
rise, fall, learning from the mistake and all of that. Now, most people may take them a whole lot of their lifetime to get to this level. But like
Correct.
you said, if you move with the right people, because relationship will make you, relationship will break you. And if you move with the right kind of people, they will elevate you. I'm
Correct.
telling you, I quite agree 100%. And I'm so, so excited about the kind of spirit that you have. So finally, America 250, what do you look, what's your take? What kind of future will you be, your legacy, your input, your impact, and all of that as we move into another new chapter in some few months from now?
America is the best country in the world.
I agree with you 100 over
A
100.
lot of people, especially immigrants, sometimes just say things and I don't have time in those kind of I don't have time to for those conversations. I just walk around
Sorry
because
to cut you. You know why? You know why? I say to people, your sight determines your size.
yeah,
The biggest challenge people have is that they have eyes to look, but they don't have the inner eyes to see.
you're very right.
And just like you rightly said, if you are in the midst of people who cannot see, it's going to be the
Yeah,
blind leading the blind, and definitely they are going for the teach. So
correct.
give it to me. As America
Yeah.
goes
No,
toward the 250 years.
to your point, I love this country so much.
Mm.
I think that we have to move away from the noise
Hmm.
and we have to search deeply into what made us the best country and how we got to 250.
Mm.
And we have to duplicate what got us to 250 to get us to 500.
Oh, I love.
And if we focus on that and we focus on our uniqueness, because it's our uniqueness that makes us strong. America is a country of immigrants. America is a country of diversity. America is a country of community. America is a country of belief. America is a country of discipline. If we take these key attributes and we hone in on it and we run with it, there's no country in the world that can get to America.
Quite
There's no
agree with
country
that.
in the world that can be like America. And let's not get divisive. There's a lot of division tactics out there, politics being one of them. Don't get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
red, blue. No.
Mm.
At the end of the day, the
Mhm.
same blood that runs through a Republican
Mhm.
is the same blood that runs through a Democrat. So
The
we're all one.
Democrats
We
or
may have difference
Republican,
in opinion, and that's fine. That's okay. We agree to
both
disagree.
ways, there are people who are not being paid right now, both ways. So it has nothing to do
Both
with.
ways. There you go. Both ways. So I like to stay away from the political frame and just focus on, the book that pays me. But is that's just it. Let's focus on the things that got us to 250, cut out the divisiveness and all the bad rhetoric, and then just run ahead. Laser focus.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Steven. If I'm going to
Pleasure is
add a
all mine.
little bit more to what you have just said, I also will, just to collaborate on what you said, some of us have to put ourselves forward more because the world also, they are looking for people who is going to give them direction, people who is going to spend their time
Absolutely.
encouraging them, giving them hope, telling them it's possible, using our life as a case study, as a storyline to tell them that this is possible. You
Yes.
didn't know this about me. I wrote a book 2, 3 years ago. It's about 400 page. Where is this book?
Wow.
Yeah, just hold on. I'm gonna show it to you now. 1 minute. I didn't plan to do this, but when you started talking about that, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, that's the huge motivation
I
of
wrote
the
this
king.
book.
I want to write my book too eventually.
I'm a publisher. I help people write books. I help people bring
Really?
brochure. So look at this book, America at 250,
Wow.
The Change Agent, Reigniting the Spirit of the Founding Fathers.
Wow. Wow. How do I get a copy? Is it on
You will.
Amazon?
You will. I'm going to tell you the story. I didn't want to say this, but let me just say it quickly. When I wrote this book 2, 3 years ago, the government of America wrote to me and
Wow.
said that I cannot use the same name with them. Now, they didn't see what I saw, but they love what I am doing. And they said, no, you are going to take the shine away from us. So I didn't stop the book. I only rebranded it as 250 year celebration. The contention was America. So I removed America and I said, okay, we're going to be 250-year celebration. Now, if you look at USA 250 on Facebook, the organization that is the mother for this project, we're about 50,000 followers on Facebook.
Wow.
If you check the one for the government, maybe it's about 25,000.
There goes the answer right there.
So what I'm actually advocating, so what I did was that because I really want to build a very huge community. So I said to myself, I'm not going to drive this book on Amazon. I would have loved to. I put it on Amazon at the time, but the purpose why this book was written was to build a community. And so once it's on Amazon, you will not have access to all the people who bought this book from you. You may not know that. You will not have access to their email. You will not have access to their database. You will not have access. So you won't be able to do any post nesting or building a community. So I invested money into infrastructure, building a community behind the scene that can undo our own book by ourselves. Yes, because I told myself that I don't want 1 million people to read this book or 1,000 people to read this book. Then I'll be looking for them. Where are they? How do I get them? How do I get connected to them? So put up a system and said, we are going to handle the ebook and the hard book by ourselves. We're going to just go after that full force. And it's not just the selling, it's the ability to, you see, this thing we are discussing, that is the spirit, the ability to build a community that you, after you bought the book, we can keep challenging you. We can tell you, okay, what kind of business do you want to do? We want to help you get it done.
How
What
can
do
we
you want
mentor
to
you?
do?
How
What
can we
kind of
coach you?
entrepreneurship? Where are you going? What are you going to do after college? What are you going to, I mean, those are the kind of spirits. So, Dr. Stephen, we have so many things to discuss after now.
We do.
We
We
have to
do.
quickly wrap this up. And, I said I'm going to do a 30 minutes interview. We are almost 1 hour right now.
Well, I appreciate you. I really
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you for working with me in terms of timing.
So,
And hope and pray that, your goals will be accomplished in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Stevie. And thank you for being a great father to your children. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
wanted
you.
to especially um, do a shout out to your wife. I mean, I know it's always very tough to run all of this journey. So tell her that we so much celebrate
Yes,
her. We
yes, yes,
appreciate
yes,
her,
yes,
the great
yes.
work she's doing. And I'm telling you, there's still so many things we're going to do together because we are still hosting the America 250-year award.
Yes, yes, yes. I would love
We're,
to support in any way.
we're going to be
You're doing
hosting.
something great. I want to support you in any way I can.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to be hosting the award. I tell people we can decide our own future in this country.
Yes,
And we can
yes,
really,
absolutely.
we can
I
add
believe
value
that.
to every kind of people over and over and over. So it's been a wonderful time speaking with
Thank
you.
you.
And this is not
Thank you
just
so
going to
much.
be the end, it's just the beginning of the discussion. Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Steven.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much. And God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a great one. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye for now.